Not that long. Welcome back to the broadcast. Some tragic news, slightly tragic, but maybe hopeful news. Overnight, Paris Jackson, daughter of the late Michael Jackson, was allegedly found potentially killing herself and committing suicide and is having suicidal tendencies. She was found with 20 ibuprofen. Apparently she had taken 20 ibuprofen and was found with a kitchen knife on her wrist, and I believe has been checked into a suicide. How does that?
I don't know, but let me tell you, my heart is just,
yes.
my heart just, when I heard that this morning, just, I don't know, it just started hurting for her because I have a young daughter, very close in age.
She's 15.
And I can only imagine, what she's going through. And let me tell you, when I tell people all the time, when you lose a parent, it really does affect you, especially when you're young. And my mother, when she was diagnosed, I was probably about 17 when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She died, I was 22. And I'm telling you, I made really bad decisions, and I was so lost and had no idea. And I had wonderful people around me. But that loss just did something to me. And I just feel like that's kind of what's happening to her.
Well, I'm sure her
she's
whole
hurting.
life is just all people talk about is her dad. I'm sure no one is.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm just speculating, but I would think that just people are more emotionally invested in who her father is versus her.
Right.
And I feel like there might be that sense of like people don't care to get to know her because they just want to talk about her dad.
Well, she was interviewed, and I saw the interview this morning on Fox and Friends. And she was talking about how she had no friends. She said, people don't like me. And she's a beautiful girl.
Yeah, she's
And
beautiful.
she said, people don't like me. And it was Oprah. Oprah was interviewing.
Yes.
And Oprah said, why don't they like you? She said, I don't know, but they just don't like me. And Oprah said, maybe they're jealous. And she said, I don't know.
Well, she said she was being bullied at school, and I was so happy for her because she was attempting to be a cheerleader. She was a cheerleader for her school and really trying to live a normal life. But apparently, she just wasn't received as normal, and they did not allow her just to be.
Even outside of that, the school thing. That whole family is all about getting more money, suing this one.
Well, is it Michael Jackson's mother? Like, aren't they going back to another court trial because
they're going back to sue the producer of the show,
of the tour he was about to do? Yeah.
And I thought that had all been settled about the doctor that gave him, the injection. So I don't know. They're just always in court. They're always infighting. How do you grow up in a family like that? It's wacko.
Right. And she is actually, I think she was going to have to take the stand and serve as a witness.
Yes, she did.
So I think there's a lot of pressure there. I think there's just a lot. Her grandmother, who is her guardian, is much older.
Well, now she's been spending more time with her mother, apparently Debbie Rowe, who was the mother to Paris.
Yeah.
It's just so tragic.
Yeah.
It really is. So I know.
Our kids have a lot of pressure. And I'm going to tell you, in our family, that's why we just try to be as normal as possible. Like, I just thank God that, our kids, I pray, over them every day that they just are normal kids. They have struggles. All kids have struggles. I don't care who you are, but that they're allowed to go through that in privacy like anybody else.
Well, and I think it's tough now with social media, especially with kids, because you tell kids, oh, don't read that. If it doesn't affect you, don't put your nose where it doesn't belong. But I think it's hard for even me as a 31-year-old adult not to look at social media and look at the things people say about you or speculate about you and not kind of believe them. As a confident 31-year-old woman, that's tough. But I can't imagine being a 15-year-old girl who's gone through what Paris Jackson has gone through and still having to have people around you going, just don't believe what you read and just like you'll be okay and you just surround yourself with good people. Well, sometimes it's easier said than done.
Well, and you're right, but I'll tell you, Courtney, I don't read it. I really don't. I mean, I tweet, and of course you respond and all that, but I really don't read all of the stuff. I stay away from it because it gets in your spirit, and it will start to make you trip out.
Yeah.
And so, if I were you, girl, I wouldn't even read it. That's the power. The power is just not to even look at it.
Power is to ignore it.